Chris Ribeiro's parents were shot and killed at their home on December 1, 1986. His mother, Florence, died in his arms. Dr. Fabian Ribeiro was a much-loved general practitioner in Mamelodi. In the police files, he was called a high-profile terrorist. Chris knew then his parents were murdered by members of the security forces. The government vehemently denied any involvement. Now, Jack Cronje and Jacques Echter want amnesty for their involvement in the murders. But they say they didn't kill them, and they don't know who did. And if Fabian Ribeiro was a so-called terrorist, why was Florence Ribeiro murdered? Chris Ribeiro has not progressed much in his search for the truth.
I saw 3 people running out of my home towards this orange cadet, which I said I'd earlier seen, that was now parked alongside my home. So I ran to the cadet, opened the driver's door, and I was grappling with him, trying to pull him out. When someone seated in the rear left-hand seat fired 3 shots at me. As he pointed a gun at me, I saw his hand. They were all wearing balaclavas. So I saw his hand, and it was definitely a white man, or a white person. When this car had sped past me, I then ran back home. I ran back home with the intention of telling my parents that some thieves had just shot at me. I found my father sprawled at the drain in the courtyard with what seemed to be, 20, 25 bullet holes in his head. And my mother lying spread-eagled in the courtyard. She seemed to have been shot once only. I knew my father was dead. I could see that he's dead because he was already turning blue. But still I tried talking to him, to try and revive him, resuscitate him. But I just tried talking to him. Then I went to my mother. She didn't seem to be outwardly injured. There was no blood or what, so I held her in my arms, and she sighed. That was her last breath.
The instruction came from head office that the security branch, together with special forces, had to work together to eliminate Ribeiro. Dr. Ribeiro's high profile was underground. He was much more intelligent than the youth. He became involved with the terrorists and providing finance and the support. He was the brain behind the problem, as far as I'm concerned. And as far as my head office was concerned, I had nothing to do with the execution of the murder. I was never really part of the hit squad, although I knew and was kept abreast of everything, and was, to an extent, I was part of things. But I was not really part of the execution on that day. I did not pull any trigger.
At the end of Hegter and Cronje's evidence, we only know that there was an elaborate cover-up and that Fabian and Florence Ribeiro were murdered by unknown members of the Army's Special Forces unit. For a process designed to uncover the truth, this was not a very successful exercise.